Shankaram Shankaracharyam Keshavam Badarayanam Sutra Bhashya Kritau Vande Bhagavantau Punah Punah Athato Brahma Jignasa Janmadhyasya Yatah Shastrayonitvat Tattu Samanvayat. So we are doing now Samanvayati Karanam. Adhikaranam means topic. Samanvayati Karanam means this is a particular topic which says that there is absolute conformity between one Vakya in Vedanta and another Vakya. There is no self-contradiction. What Vedanta says doesn't contradict itself. Supposing something says now something else, now something else. This is called self-contradiction. Yesterday I said something and today I say something else and day after tomorrow I say something else. That is called self-contradiction. If a person is self-contradictory, you can't live with him. It's very difficult. Even if we are a Rakshasa, be consistently a Rakshasa, so that I would know how to handle you. Yes. Even if you are a Ravana, have certain consistency so that I know how to handle you. Yes. Consistency can give us some relief. But how do you handle a chameleon? Very difficult. Now we say something, now we say something else. Abhi bayan diya, फिर बयान के काउंटर बयान दिया, उसके दूसरा काउंटर बयान, ये तो प्रॉब्लम हो जाता है. Therefore, Vedanta doesn't contradict itself. It's a great virtue. It's a great virtue. It's very difficult to come across literature that doesn't contradict itself in this world. Most of the books contradict themselves, really. People contradict themselves, teachers contradict themselves all the time. Say something and do something else. आज कुछ कहा, कल कुछ कहा, परसों कुछ कहा. It doesn't make any. You can't really get something, some happiness out of it. But in Vedanta, there is no contradiction. In their intention, there is no contradiction. What they want to convey, this is called Tatparya. What you say may be different. What you say today and what you say tomorrow may be different. But what you want to convey is the same. What you want to convey is the same. That what you want to convey is what we call Tatparya. That is called Tatparya. So that Tatparyam is the same. Every statement in Vedanta wants to convey the same Tatparyam. This is what is called self-samanvaya, agreement with itself. It is at peace with itself. Vedanta is at peace with itself. It has no conflicts. It has only one topic. And that topic is how this very sufferer, the very person who is suffering, is peaceful. Suffering is an illusion, peace is the nature. He may not know it, that's a different matter, so what? As long as there is a Shanti in our nature, we can aram se discover it. What is there? One can always slowly educate oneself about one's nature, as long as that nature is a glorious nature. if nature is glorious, then I can slowly understand it. Therefore, the whole Vedanta's topic is unfolding the glorious nature of the self, number one. This is called one kind of samanvaya. The other kind of samanvaya is, it doesn't conflict with logic. It doesn't conflict with reasoning. It doesn't conflict with reasoning based on anubhava. ये बहुत जरूरी है. One kind of logic is based on sense perception. One is a scientific logic, the other is the scriptural logic. The scripture Vedanta conforms to the scriptural logic. The scriptural logic is the logic that is based on one's existence, one's experience of one's existence. If somebody says, you cannot conclude I am not there, that is illogical. Maybe I am not there. You can't even create a doubt. Maybe I am not there. No. Existence, one's existence is never available even to be doubted. It is beyond doubt. It's amazing how our existence cannot be doubted. I can't doubt my own existence. Supposing I doubt, then as a doubter I am there. I can't doubt my existence as a waker. I can't doubt my existence as a dreamer. I can't doubt my existence as even a deep sleeper. You may say I was not there. No, it's not true. It's wrong to say that in deep sleep I was not there. What you remember about the deep sleep state is that there was no thought. Negation of thought is recollected, not negation of your existence. Negation of thought is recollected naturally. Negation of thought about the world is recollected. Negation of the thought about oneself also is recollected. Thoughts can be recollected. But existence behind the thoughts cannot be. That is always there. It doesn't require. Because the I that was there in Sushupti same I am there. You don't recollect your existence in yesterday. It is wrong. Because the same I, you are there now. Your existence is not a matter of recollection when you are feeling your existence. A thing becomes recollected only when it is not experienced. If you are experiencing your existence, then it is not a matter of recollection. Existence is never a matter of recollection. Therefore, the scriptural reasoning, Vedanta conforms to the scriptural reasoning, and it also conforms to the universal experience, the experience, Anubhava as well as Anubhava-based logic. If the scripture, if there is no contradiction between Vedanta and Vedanta, between Vedanta and the scripture-based logic, Anubhava-based logic, and there is no contradiction between what Vedanta says and our own experience of our existence, then where else is the realm of contradiction? Contradiction is only threefold. Contradiction is only threefold. Either you contradict with yourself, or you contradict with logic, or you contradict with experience. But it doesn't contradict with itself or logic or universal experience. It's like saying, all that you want is your own fullness. When Shruti says, and that is what it says throughout, it doesn't contradict, and that is what is our experience anyway. Even when you help somebody, you want to only help yourself, you want to be happy. You cannot transcend. Your actions cannot transcend the desire to be happy. Your actions cannot. You can't do anything, Even when you do something to make others happy, actually you are doing it only to make yourself happy. It is not possible. You may say, no, it's not my happiness. I am sacrificing my happiness to make others happy. That's not true. You can sacrifice your comfort, not happiness. Very subtle, बहुत subtle बात है जी. थोड़ा बहुत समझ लेना इस बात को. इस बात को समझ लेना. You can only sacrifice a comfort. You can sacrifice your money. You can sacrifice your time. You can sacrifice your energy. You can sacrifice your sleep. You can sacrifice your material comfort. But you sacrifice it so that it makes you happy. Yes. I sacrifice everything for the sake of my children because, that makes me happy. That means you can't sacrifice happiness. That is truth. You can't sacrifice reality. You sacrifice everything for reality, not that you sacrifice reality for anything. That is all not true. That is a big block. You can't sacrifice happiness. And therefore, here Bhagavan says, Sir, Vedanta doesn't contradict itself, doesn't contradict logic, doesn't contradict experience. Then what else? Then where else is then what other room is there for contradiction? The moment we hear the word contradiction, it is only threefold. Self-contradiction, or contradiction with logic, or contradiction with experience, contradiction with evidence. It doesn't, what is evident, it only points out what is evident. It doesn't contradict what is evident. It points to. Like arrow mark points to a particular place. It doesn't contradict. It points to. Like parents point, this is अच्छा है, ये खराब है बच्चों के लिए. So the children, instead of seeing the arrow marks given by the parents, they see contradictions. हमारा parents हमको खुश देखना ही नहीं चाहते. What if I come after 2 o'clock in the night? क्या हो गया? आप सो जाओ. ऐसा नहीं होता है. Parents, you have to be a parent to understand the anxiety of a parent. Therefore, until you become a parent, don't argue. You will understand. When will you understand your parents? When you become a parent, not before that. Never. It is not possible. When will you understand hunger? Only when you become hungry. Yes. तब मालूम होता है. Okay, a very important point which can change your attitude towards our Indian scriptures. Sir, there is only one phenomenon, there is only one literature which points to the truth, which points to us about our free nature. There is nothing in this world. This world doesn't carry messages about the truth. No, it eclipses the truth. This world eclipses the truth. It doesn't carry the messages. It's a bluff. If the world itself can carry the messages about the truth, then we won't require the scripture. Then we won't require the Shabda Pramana. We won't require the Shabda Pramana. But we do require the Shabda Pramana because the life doesn't carry the messages about the truth. ऐसा कुछ नहीं है. It is only after studying Vedanta we try to read messages into the phenomena of the world. It is all subjective. Are you able to follow what I am saying? It is only after studying Vedanta then we try to read Vedanta into phenomena. Maybe this is the clue that is pointing to me, it is pointing to me, this is pointing to me, in this manner. It is a subjective reading of the message that I already know in the creation. It's like when you are traveling in a train, you can read a Bollywood rhyme in that train sound, Have you ever traveled in the train? स्वामी जी हम तो प्लेन में घूमते हैं. ये भी प्रॉब्लम है. थोड़ा ट्रेन में भी जाना चाहिए जी. Yes, you should just for wisdom you must live a simple life. Learn to walk fast. Learn to go on a yatra walking. I tell you, you'll get a lot of things in life. At least common sense grows. I don't say you will become spiritually enlightened about it. ऐसा कुछ नहीं है. There is no spiritual enlightenment just because you walk for 100 kilometers. You will develop, but you will definitely, your common sense grows. And common sense can help you a lot in understanding the truth. It's great. Common sense means what? It's all knowledge. Anyway, when you are going in the train, you read a message, you read a Bollywood rhyme into that tuk 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 tuk. Have you ever? Nowadays nobody travels in the train. In that manner, after exposure to Vedanta, we read the message. See, the clouds are telling. See the mountains. Mountains, see, they are so quiet. That means the truth also is quiet. In this manner, we read. Look at the Shanti of the mountains, how they are meditating. So when you look at the mountains, you become meditative. These are all after exposure to our literature, not before that. You say, oh, when I look at the mountains, I will feel like I'm meditating. Another person says, when I look at the mountains, I remember rum and whiskey. I say, all messages that we read into this world are all subjectivity. But anyway, coming back to the point, this world doesn't carry the clues to what we are. This world eclipses what we are. It distorts our thinking about what we are. It is only the Shabda Pramana Vedanta which comes and talks. My dear, don't look for the truth here and there, don't waste time. The truth is yourself. Look at yourself. Learn to spend time looking at yourself. Man doesn't have the habit of looking at the subject. Unfortunate. The most unfortunate thing in this world is the subject doesn't look at himself. He is all the time looking at the world, remembering the objects and planning for the objects and enjoying the objects and only commenting upon the objects. We have the language also connected to the memory of the objects. Such a small little language. अच्छा मैं अब कहाँ जाऊँ? अपने आप से बात कर रहे हैं. अच्छा आज कौन से दिन है? आज संडे है. कहाँ जाना चाहिए? खरोल बाग जाऊँ या कहाँ? अच्छा खाना कहाँ मिलता है? वगैरह वगैरह. Talking to oneself. Sharavana Bhava. Oh, Sharavana Bhava, it is too insipid. They give just they should go to Kaketa. Vagera, vagera, vagera. What is all this? This is all language. There is a language connected to our memories. There is a language connected to our perceptions. Every thought goes with the language. You can't see an object without using some language. And if somebody is there next to you, and what you feel, the language that you entertain in your mind, you speak to him. Therefore, you can't sit quiet with another person sitting next. You will always say something, "Cha, barish ho rahi hai, thoda thandapan ho gaya." What means that's what? If he is not there, you will be saying the same thing silently to yourself. Either I talk to somebody and nobody is there, then I am talking to myself. We don't talk to ourselves loudly because there is a risk of being looked upon as pagal. You see, I don't want to run that risk, you see. Therefore here, appreciate the glory of our Indian Vedanta, Indian literature is a great thing. Even if one doesn't know, at least even if you don't go to school, at least appreciate. It is necessary to go to school. Even then you are a matured person. You don't go to school, कोई बात नहीं जी, भाग्य में नहीं है. At least appreciate. Appreciation doesn't depend upon bhagyam. Understanding the value of a thing doesn't depend upon bhagyam. That's not a matter of prarabdha. Understanding the glory, the value of going to school, is not based on prarabdha. I don't think so. And then if you can't go to school for some reason or the other, bhagya mein nahi. But to appreciate the value of education. Similarly, I may not become a Vedanti, but to appreciate it is something great. It's talking about my inner free nature. It is very, very spiritual in its thinking. It is very, very truthful in its thinking. I may not have time to study it, koi baat nahi, but I should at least appreciate, admire, be happy with people who study it. Yes. Otherwise, and once you appreciate the value of something, one day you will get it. I am telling you, you will be there. One day you will be there. That is why the Indians always respect Vairagyam. They may not have Vairagyam, but they respect Vairagyam. They may not be sannyasis, but they respect sannyasa. Okay, ji. Now, what is samanvaya is defined here. That samanvaya. I am not going to read line after line, just I will give you point after point. It's an asan nahi for you to go through line after line. You will all get up and go away. Oh, this is too much of Sanskrit. Samanvayat sarveshu re vedant. Don't worry, just go on listening. Don't worry about the language, the words and all that. Because always listen to what you can carry in your mind. Don't waste time with details which you can't carry. Kya karna usko? Sarveshu hi vedanteshu vakyani tatparyena etasya arthasya pratibhadakatvena samanugatani. All the vakyas in Vedanta conform to one another, agree with one another in the matter of the topic. So Vedanta doesn't have too many topics. They have only one topic, and the topic is the truth of everything. Where the very source of all the entire creation, the source of my mind and the body, the self of the whole creation. As the self of everything, it is called the Atma. As unlimited, it is Brahman. Understand the connotation. Brahman's connotation means simple, that is the unlimited. Atma means the self of all. The self, without which nothing is. The self, like water, is the self of the wave. Atma. वो उसका आत्मा है. Just because the Vedanta is consistently talking about, it is consistent with itself, it conforms to itself, does it make it valid? No, it not only conforms to itself, but it also conforms to logic, but it also conforms to experience. Whereas a madman conforms to himself but doesn't conform to logic and conforms to experience. Therefore there is a difference between just being consistent with oneself is not enough. But ultimately you have to be consistent with logic, etc. etc. Acha, what are those vakyas? Aram se sunna. Sadeva saumidam agrasit. Sadeva saumidam agrasit. Ekamevad. In this universe before its creation was only the Sat, pure being. That means even after the manifestation it is pure being. Why does it say that all this whole creation was Sat? Just to show even now it is Sat. The mind before it was made manifest, it was Sat. Why does it say? To show that even now it is Sat. If man discovers that his own mind is even now Sat, then he is Sat. He is Sat. As Sat he is peaceful. As a form he is disturbed. As a form he is insecure. As a form he is agitated. As a form he is limited. As a form he feels insecure, etc. As the Sat he is free. Tadetat Brahma Purvamana Paramanamparam Abhakyam. This self has no cause, has no effect. The self has not come from something, nor something has come from it actually. It alone is. Like we can say the water has not come from anything, the water is, but something, the wave has come from it. Even though we say wave has come from water, but actually there is no coming or going. Even when we say wave is born of water, actually what is there is only water. So therefore, this idea about creation is only mayikam, as though it's more notional. Anantaram abhakyam. And also the statement that truth doesn't have an inside or outside. It doesn't have something else inside it or outside. Like inside my stomach there are a lot of amoeba. But they are not me, I am not the amoeba. It is something else, it has occupied my within. There are other living things which have occupied my udaram. In that manner, truth doesn't have something inside it. Truth doesn't have something else outside it. In fact, there is no outside to the truth. In this what happens is that is called fullness, where there is nothing else. That is fullness. Like in the deep sleep state, you have nothing else inside the deep sleep state, nothing else outside it also. There is no outside to the deep sleep state. It is fullness. I am Atma Brahma Sarvanubhuhu. This self is unlimited. Sarvanubhuhu as the experiencer of everything. From the point of view of the objects, we are the experiencer of all of them. And from our own point of view, as just experience. There is no object. Ayam Atma Brahma Sarvanubhuhu Brahmai Vedam Amritam Purastat. And what is in front is Brahman, what is behind is Brahman, the light to the right is Brahman, to the left is Brahman, above is Brahman. In fact, just said, there is nothing other than Brahman. Like we can say, there is a wave, we can say below it is water, To the right of it is water, to the left of it is water, in front of it is water, behind is water. These are all just in a ways of explaining. Just to show there is nothing else. Because when we look at ourselves, a thought that we think is not second to ourselves. Thought is not second to the thinker. A very, very important clue. Thought is not second to the thinker. Even though we have two words, the thinker and the thought, but the thought doesn't stand as a second, additional to the thinker, because if it is second to the thinker, then it should exist independent of the thinker. If the thought can't exist independent of the thinker, the subject has to, the one who thinks the thought has to sustain it. The one who thinks the thought, again unto him goes the thought. And therefore, just as thought is not second to the thinker, what is perceived is not second to the perceiver. The object is not second to the subject. The universe is not second to the one who sees it. The observed is not second to the observer. Meaning the observed is not independent of the observed. It is not possible. Dream is not. Dream is never independent of the one who dreams. The dream is never independent of the one who dreams. So true. I mean, can we really doubt it? Can we really doubt? Thought is not independent of the thinker. Thus, the evidence is that all that is object is not independent of the subject. So the arrow marks are like this. There are arrow marks pointing to the fact that the realm, the physical is not independent of the conscious. The physical is not independent of the conscious. Whereas in ignorance man thinks consciousness, my conscious identity is a result of food. My conscious identity is a result of the biology. Whereas the Shastra says your biology depends upon your conscious identity. Whereas man thinks my conscious identity depends upon my biological identity. Biological identity is something that is very physical, whereas conscious identity is not physical. Okay, ji. इत्यादीनेन च तद्गतानां पदानां ब्रह्मस्वरूपविषये निश्चिते समन्वये अवगम्यमाने अर्थान्तरकल्पनायुक्ता श्रुतः अश्रुतकल्पना प्रसंगात. मैं तो पढ़ के समझाता हूँ, आप सुनते जाना. These vakyas which have the sole intention of conveying the non-dual nature of the subject, if you try to interpret them differently, then you would be distorting the scripture. If you interpret the Vedanta in the sense of some politics or in the sense of some simple social values or in the sense of some simple prayer or in the sense of some simple worship or in the sense of simple meditation, these are all simplistic things. Vedanta is just saying something else. It's saying to the wave, my dear, as water you are the whole ocean. It's not a simple matter. When the wave is told you are the ocean, it is not it's asking it to pray. It is not asking it to worship. You are not asking it to do some meditation. And recognize. Look at yourself and recognize your intrinsic glorious identity. You are living as a form, but you are being the substance. Ever being the ever remaining the substance. You are thinking you are a form, and you suffer your thinking, and don't derive the benefit of what you are being. You are not deriving the benefit from what you are being. You are only suffering your thinking. And therefore, those who interpret Vedanta, in the sense of, they say, we have to interpret it as per the types. What are you talking? How can you interpret? I say, even before, throughout history, man has not been able to interpret his fundamental intention. His fundamental intention is to be happy. Can you interpret it? Hello, modern times we can't be happy, therefore let us change our fundamental intention. Let us not try to be happy, let us accept our lot to be unhappy. No, you may accept your physical lot, but you will never accept unhappiness. You will always try to find a way out of unhappiness. You want to fight unhappiness and be happy. Even attitudes are nothing but to help you to fight unhappiness. Pick up some good attitudes so that you will be less miserable. Yes, right attitudes can remove some unhappiness. Why not? There are so many relief givers in this world. Vedanta gives the answer. The world gives the reliefs. Comfort gives the relief. Values give the relief. Attitudes give the relief. Prayers give the relief. Why not? For a drowning man, even a straw is glorious. Even for a drowning man, even a straw is glorious, great. Why not? You can't say, I want only the best. I say, when the best is not available, manage with the second best. If the second best is also not available, manage with the third best. That is the wisdom. No, either I want the first best, otherwise I will live a life of frustration. All right, suffer. Who is it? That is why the less wise you are, the more you are unhappy. You should be more practical to be less unhappy. You should be more wise to be practical, to be more wise to be less unhappy. ठीक है जी, my destiny में नहीं था, कोई तो क्या हो जाए? Nothing. So what? Anyway, there are so many people who are poor people. I also don't have money, so what? Nothing great about it. I don't think Sudama was crying. I don't think he cried. He went all the way to Krishna to ask for money, and he comes back without asking him. It's too embarrassing to ask. ठीक है, ठीक. जो है वो ठीक है. I think it is better to be. It is better. We have a lot to understand from Sudama ji. Lot of empirical wisdom from Sudama, and a lot of spiritual wisdom from Krishna. Yes. He knew how to silently live, and how to cope with his poverty without forgetting the truth. Sudama is the best example of coping with a very scant material situation, very uncomfortable material situation, and yet not forgetting Parameshwara. It is a very big thing. Even to be in memory of Parameshwara is glorious, I think. Even to close eyes, hey Bhagavan, look after me. I think you are much better off. Yes, you are much wiser, even to remember Bhagavan. I think so. Rather than remembering objects, rather than remembering some individuals with likes and dislikes. Whenever you remember an individual, you will always make a comment. Bada dushta hai. Suppose you remember some politician, it's a bada dushta hai. And then when you remember a politician, you will get a proverb also. Right, Alda? Kate hain. What is that? Mouth, mosam and mantri, you can't rely. इनको विश्वास नहीं कर सकते. Mouth means death. Mouth के बारे में कुछ बता नहीं सकते, मौसम के बारे में कुछ बता नहीं सकते, और मंत्री महोदय के बारे में भी कुछ बता नहीं सकते, पता नहीं क्या है. Therefore, like this, whenever you think of individuals, you are polluting your mind. Think of Bhagavan to keep your mind pure. I think so. It is a part of prayer. Is not only an emotion. Prayer is not only just a prayer. It is a part of wisdom. I am telling you. It's a part of wisdom. If you are at least prayerful, you are peaceful. You are not making, raga dveshas. For Parameshwara, you don't have likes and dislikes. You are only saying, hey Bhagavan, help me overcome my likes and dislikes. Help me, please help me to live in peace. Why not? Anyway, and therefore, wave is told you are the ocean. It's a very big statement. Vedanta comes and says you are the truth. It's a big statement. The whole Vedic life is educating oneself to understand this statement about myself. The whole life is growing to discover this one Vakya. And that is all that I want is myself. And the moment one understands that all that I want is myself, the self of my mind, so once you look at yourself as the self of your thinking, then really even your thinking doesn't qualify the self. Your thinking is an appearance in yourself, not an adjective of yourself. Your form is far removed. Your form doesn't qualify yourself. Therefore, there is no use of going to all the time to beauty parlors and coming out with an extra weight. Unnecessary. Don't say you can be nice, you can be good looking, but don't think that's what you are. Supposing you start bothering about your looks, you will be bothering throughout life. I am telling you, it's not an ordinary thing. If looks bother you, you are finished. If your caste bothers you, you are finished. If your gender bothers you, you are finished, gone. If your poverty bothers you, you are gone. Even if your color bothers you, you are gone. Even your situation in life, oh, I am a single person, I am not married. This society mein single log, the bachelors are not allowed to survive. Singles, the Indian society it doesn't like singles. They always want doubles. That is all idiot. So it is up to me to be single or double or triple. What is that? You should just not go by. You don't have to respect every comment made by the society. Therefore, so if the self is, oneself is the self, then your assets don't matter, your liabilities in life also don't matter. Assets are false, liabilities are false. Like dream assets and dream liabilities. When you wake up, both are gone. Ji, both are gone. Naja parinishthita vastu sarupatvepi pratyakshadi vishayam brahmana. Very beautiful sentence. Even though truth is evident, and yet it is not an object. Truth is evident, but it is not an object. It is not evident as an object. It is evident as the subject. It is not evident as a thought, but it is evident as the subject of the thought, the self of the thought. Therefore, there is a scientist's approach is very peculiar. A scientist's attitude and a layman's attitude is one and the same, I am telling you. How? A scientist banks on his senses. A layman also banks on his senses. That's all. A layman doesn't know how to use his senses to observe, whereas a scientist knows how to use his sense perception to observe things. Therefore, when you say that the truth is evident, then the scientist also will speak like a layman. Where is it evident? There are only objects around. It is not evident as an object. It is evident as the subject. It is evident as the subject. Just as the evidence of the object is so evident as an object, whereas similarly subject also is evident. Ultimately, even though both are evident, the object can be doubted, the subject cannot be doubted. Both are evident, but one is a doubtable thing. It is doubtable. The object is doubtable because as an observer of the object, I can always doubt it. Anything that stands before me is vulnerable to be doubted. It is available to be doubted. Thus, catch this point. Truth is absolutely evident as the very subject. But it is not, but don't look for it in the realm of objects. Even this much, if this is understood, then looking at yourself is looking at the truth, to be very frank. The more you look at your conscious identity, you are actually looking at the reality. It is Parameshwara's darshanam. Atma darshanam, Isha darshanam. Bhagavan says, Swatma darshanam, Isha darshanam. Ramana Maharshi says, registering, looking at yourself is looking at Ishvara. Yes. Therefore, we have to redefine the meaning of the word evidence. A scientist's definition of evidence is totally physical. The scripture's definition of evidence is only the subject. In fact, Vedanta doesn't accept the world as evident. It only says it looks to be evident, not it is. It is sense-evident, not self-evident. Undoubtedly it is not evident. Whereas the subject is undoubtedly evident. Capture this point. I know it we are repeating day in and day out. But then when you go back home, you are not going to think about Vedanta. Therefore, whatever you think, you better think here. Yes. घर जाके आप वेदांत थोड़ी समझें. मुझे डिस्टर्ब मत करो, मैं सारी वेदांत मनन करना चाहता हूँ. Neither he will do that, nor the people at home will allow you to do it. They will say, बहुत हो गया वेदांत, थोड़ा सा वो फाइल्स देखो या मार्केट जाके थोड़ा भिंडी ले आओ. When the Mem Sahib wants to prove that she is the Mem Sahib, he wants to assert her power over her Patidev, then says, जाओ थोड़ा भिंडी लेके आओ, सब्जी लेके आओ, जाओ. Your Vedanta is gone. What a thing, what a switch from Vedanta to Bindi Bangan. Here you are thinking about all Vedanta. Therefore, Bhagavan says here, these are all points. I am trying to highlight some. This is a very long bhashya here. And I don't want to just go like that. I want to enjoy too. What is the use of teaching you and myself feeling miserable? Because mainly I come here just so that I can enjoy my scripture. And by the way, you can also join. I don't come here to do a good Samaritan's job of teaching people. I don't do that. I don't have such ambitions. हम तो आनंद लेते हैं. You can also give me company class. हम अपना आनंद लेते हैं. Therefore here it says, you see, Brahma pratyakshādi viṣyatvam brahmana tattvamasīti brahmatmabhavasya shāstravantarena anavagamyamanatvat. You see, however greatly the truth is evident, even though it is self-evident, but yet it cannot be understood unless it is properly taught. You see, the evidence of the subject itself is not enough. Because in the realm of ignorance, there is a distortion about the subject. And that distortion doesn't allow me to think of the subject differently. Like when I mistake the rope for snake, that snake perception doesn't allow me to think of it differently. These objects don't allow me to think of them differently. It just, the dream, when the dream is on, it doesn't allow me the sense of reality so much, it doesn't allow me to think of it differently. Yes, it doesn't allow me to think of it. It is the Vedanta which comes and says, yeah, think differently. In fact, what you see is an appearance, you are the reality. Not that what you see is a constant reality and you come and go. That's not true. You stay and everything comes and goes. Whereas, man thinks I come and go, and whereas the universe continues. I come and go, whereas the universe continues. Shruti says, no, that is not your experience. Your experience is you are staying, whereas the universe appears and disappears. It's like saying, thinker comes and goes, thought stays on. ऐसा कभी होता है? Thinker comes and goes, but the thought stays on. Is it an experience? Perceptions stay on, but the perceiver comes and goes. There is no experience to evidence that we come and go. In fact, the appearances, so the dream, that the waking goes, the dream appears, I continue, the dream goes, I continue, and both go, I continue as peaceful in sleep. Continuity of our existence in the deep sleep state must be qualified as a peaceful presence. Here I am a thinking presence. Here I am a thinking presence. Dream is I am a dreaming presence. But in deep sleep state I am a peaceful presence. Yes. Our presence doesn't come and go. There is no evidence that we come and go. But the moment we think we come and go, but generally man doesn't try another method. Maybe the world comes and goes, but I continue. ऐसा कभी experiment करता है? No. Nobody ever thinks differently. Everybody thinks, in every yuga, everybody thinks the same way. We come and go and the universe continues. दुनिया चलती रहती है. हम तो आते हैं जाते हैं. आते हैं जाते हैं, 4 दिन की चांदनी फिर वही अंधेरा। ये सारी see, there is so much of folklore about spirituality in this land. Even folklore is beautiful. Indian folklore is so beautiful. It's talking about the truth. This is the land where you should live and enjoy. समझिए, what about this garbage वगैरह? ठीक है जी, क्या हो गया? It's a part of creation. Try to keep it clean, but just on that count you can't say I don't like India. All the time you are breathing Indian air and say I don't like India. जाओ फिर अमेरिका जाओ और पाकिस्तान जाओ. It's only when you go to another country then you understand what is India. India is appreciated only when you lose it, I am telling you. Only when you lose it. When you lose your opportunity to stay in India, when you go abroad, then you know what is India. There you may get more of this, a few comforts, nothing great. I tell you here also, thoda pani hai, bijli hai, if you are little akal hai, thoda saaf suthra rakho. It is like America, what is great about it? Apne thoda aas-paas, thoda environment, keep it clean. What is this? Little akal. Only thing is, therefore this is a country which is colorful and lively. But not one moment of boredom in India. Can you feel bored in India? Can you feel bored? I tell, can you see Indian TV and feel bored? Hey Rama, some Ananda will come to give a bayan to grip your attention. कोई ना कोई आते रहते हैं, कुछ ना कुछ होता है. It's a very eventful nation. It's never a dead nation. It's not a udas. Great. I always feel this is Vaishwanara. If at all there is Vaishwanara, it is India which is Vaishwanara. Really. But anyways, though truth is self-evident, there is a mistake about it. That mistake is corrected by Vedanta. Therefore, without proper exposure to Vedanta makes me think about myself differently. I would say more correctly. It makes me think about myself correctly, differently. Instead of thinking I come and go and everything continues, I start thinking I have continuity and everything appears and manifests and unmanifest. Very big thing, ji. Very big thing. Another. Therefore, I am concluding it just, generally when we talk to people, very educated people, they say, "Sai, if you say truth is self-evident, then why do you require Vedanta? Why do you want to study Vedanta if the truth is self-evident?" I say it is self-evident along with a distortion about it. ये बात को पकड़ना है. Truth is self-evident, yes, along with a distortion about it. And therefore, I don't even know I am living a distorted thinking about myself without even knowing that I am thinking distortedly. Therefore, all my theories and theologies are all within that distortion. My fundamental thinking about myself is distorted. The very idea that I am a form is a distortion. The very idea that I am an individual is a distortion. Every thought that I think about myself is a distortion. And if I invent religions and if I invent this and invent that, it is all within that distortion. Who is going to come and tell me in this world that our very fundamental thinking about ourselves is distorted? And the one who says it is Vedanta. Vedanta comes and makes me think, your very idea about yourself is distorted. The very thinking that you are a form is distortion. Because you are a conscious presence. You are only a peaceful presence. You are not a doing individual. Like silence doesn't do anything. Silence is. Sound vibrates. Silence is. Truth is. And our presence is a silent, absolutely silent presence. Like space is, whereas a plane vibrates, moves. A plane is moving, but the space is. In that manner, our being is. Even though that is the truth about our nature, but we keep thinking, that I am something, I am an individual, I am unfortunate, I am a form, I am insecure, and I have to depend upon destiny. Yea, whoa, my goodness, the whole samsara descends on my head. With the wrong view about myself, the whole samsara descends. Then, and even if I live a long life, 70 years, 80 years, a lot of money and all, what is that? I mean, what we call fortune is nothing in comparison to our basic, great, glorious nature. Nothing. What is 1,000 years in comparison to eternity? What is 1 billion ages in comparison to eternity? Yes. What is 1 billion years, Ji? What is 100 years? See, 1 billion years. It is very difficult to imagine really how long is how many pages it will take to write down 1 billion. हम लोग तो कहते हैं कि अच्छा और 5 साल. What is 5 years? What is 6 years? What is 100 years? What is 200 years? हमारा गुरुजी used to say, just to live for 1 more year. You keep running in all over the city, in every park. भागते रहते हैं, हर पार्क में भागते रहते हैं, हर पार्क में भागते रहते हैं, हर पार्क में भागते रहते हैं. He will get 1 year there, but he will lose many years in running. I mean, that's very nice, Swamiji used to say, भागेंगे आप 1 साल बढ़ेंगे, लेकिन that year we have lost in running anyway. You have wasted more than 1 year just running. And one thinks, he tries to develop satisfaction just through that 1 year, even though his love is for eternity. When what you want is eternity, how can 1 more year satisfy you? That is why after that 1 year, it says, oh, I would like to live for 1 more year. It is not the length that we want. We want eternity. Okay ji. We will continue it later on. This is a long prakaranam. Don't hurry me to go to the next sutra. No. Maybe it will last for another 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 classes. Purnamadaha, Purnamidam, Purnat, Purnamudachyate, Purnasya, Purnamadaya, Purnamevamsishade, Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Hari Om Ji, Hari Om Ji, Hari Om Ji.